A very good morning to you. Welcome to Good Morning Anambra Thursday edition. Throwback Thursday. Maybe I have to go back to the papers we read last year. How are you? Sure you had a good night rest. Welcome. My name is Sijama. Do stand by now for press review. And welcome again. Joining me this morning to look at the pages of the newspaper is Apostle I.C. John Paul Iloduba. Apostle John Paul is a public affairs analyst. Good morning, John.
Yeah, good morning for having me. It's always my pleasure being here. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, let's now take off with the stories making the round from our website this morning. Auditions for Anambra Shine the Light reality TV show enters final stage. 100 days in office, Anambra Assembly Speaker reassures of quality legislative activities. Anambra Homeland Affairs Commissioner condemns attack on operatives of the DSS. And finally from here, Mrs. Soludo enjoins Anambra to access free antenatal care delivery services. Okay, these and many more are the stories making the round from our ABS website this morning, www.absradiotv.com. Okay, let's move on. We have this show that's coming up, Iloduba. Are you aware of that? Shine the Light reality TV show.
Yes,
Oh, yes. Okay, we have entered our final stage. And it's basically for us to harness the talents in our youth, educate and entertain the whole world, because it's going to be shot in the cable. So wherever you are all over the world, you will watch this show that is coming up very shortly. So what I have you to say?
Anambra is light of the nation.
Yeah.
So and Anambra is always on the lead. When it comes to developmental issues, talent hunts, everything about Anambra is always the first. Anambra is always on the top of the gears when it comes to human resource management, training the child, bringing out the best of the best of the best of the talents in a child. So I'm not surprised, I'd say what Anambra, wants to bring to the world at large this time around. I'm not surprised at that. And I know that these individuals that are going to participate in this, people who make it to the final stage, will make Anambra and Nigerians proud. I'm certain about that. But I want to comment on Anambra Homeland Affairs Commissioner condemns attack on operatives of DSS. You know, I don't know, but here in the southeast, security is on top of the gears. And
security or insecurity?
I mean, sorry, the insecurity is on top of the gears now. And security agencies, we have to do something immediately because we can't continue this way. When, or a situation whereby the security agencies themselves are being attacked, you can imagine what will be the fate of the ordinary citizen out there. So it shouldn't just end in condemning the attack. The perpetrators of this evil act should be, you know, captured and dealt with so that we can have a livable and prosperous homeland, just, you know, in the words of our dear executive governor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to what is coming from the assemblies. The House of Assembly, 100 days in office. Anambra Speaker reassures of quality legislative activities. So how has it been so far?
You know, I would like to comment on this in two ways. You know, Anambra State, since the assumption of this current administration, His Excellency Professor Chukwuma Soludo has, you know, been working hand in hand with the legislature, and that is commendable. You know, it's a good thing to go by. But then I want to, like the Speaker says, that they will continue, you know, to provide quality legislative activities. It's commendable. It's a good assurance. But then the legislature should know that they are independent of the executive, and therefore should do everything possible to checkmate the executive. It shouldn't be because you want to work hand in hand with the executive, you want to deliver good governance with the executive, does not mean that you should now become a rubber stamp or a situation whereby whatever the executive brings, you know, you pass it or whatever. No, let them checkmate. But I believe, you know, so far so good. 100 days in office, you know, I've not heard much bad about them. They've been trying. They are human beings. They are not infallible. And the most important thing is where you make a mistake, you amend, and then you continue going. So that is it.
Okay, thank you very much. That's free antenatal in Anambra State now. I don't know whether women are aware of this, especially those in the hinterland. Perhaps that's why the First Lady is saying, First Lady, Mrs. Soludo, is enjoining the Anambra to access free antenatal care deliveries and delivery services.
Yeah, you know.
What do we do to pass the information down to the grassroots?
Well, I think it's part of your own job. It's part of your own job. But I'm aware that, you know, Mrs. Soludo, a woman with a large heart, you know, she has her ways of passing this information to the, even down to the rural areas. Because if you go down, as an analyst, I can tell you, I've taken my time sometimes to study what is happening in this current administration. There is no place you go to today in Anambra State that you will not hear, you know, or you will not see. Even if you don't hear, you will see. If you don't see, you will feel it, you know, what this current administration is doing. You know, it's not just about the governor, even the wife, just like this thing now she's doing. The news is everywhere. But if there are people who perhaps have not heard about it, I think is the job of, I think, some, what do you call them, civil society organizations to help pass this information to people, because Anambra women will benefit from it. Because if you check what is happening today now, we have a lot of pregnant women out there, we have a lot of, you know, nursing mothers out there that, you know, will benefit from this whole exercise. So it's the responsibility of everybody, myself, yourself, to help pass this information, because information is key. Information is power. When you have information that can help a neighbor, you pass it to him or her, and then from there it continues to escalate, it continues to move down, even down to the grassroots, and then people will partake in this exercise and benefit from it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Well, let's move on to the newspapers now and see what is trending on the front pages of the Nigerian dailies. Our first paper this morning is the Daily Sun. Daily Sun says, curfew in Kano as tribunal sacks governor, fear in other states. Where are the states? Bauchi governor's election affirmed, apprehension in Enugu as Mba Edoga, no faith today. And down here, I have Labour alleges fresh move to sell 110 Unity schools. There's portfolio carrying investors to leave FGCs alone. Why madam from Okay, the 5 trillion are accrued into federation accounts in 6 months. This is coming from the federal government. Potential voters in Imo yet to collect 134,000 PVCs for Guba election. This is coming from the INEC. Hey, I was wondering when INEC will open my mouth and talk to people again. Okay, CJN bemoans rise in litigation, warns appeal court justices against Greek gifts. CJ bemoans rise in litigation, warns appeal court justices against Greek, okay, as they were inaugurated yesterday. Ondo Assembly moves to sack deputy governor over 300 million bulletproof SUV. Okay, governors and their deputies. New National Stars is our next paper. Tribunal, Kano Governor Abba Yusuf loses, Bala Mohammed wins in Bauchi. Kwankwaso advises Yusuf to accept judgment in good faith. I can't believe this. Traders closed shops hours after judgment was pronounced in Kano. Who is blackmailing who? Okay, Kano declares 24-hour curfew. Wow, just to pass tribunal judgment. And down here, Nigeria, most litigious nation in the world, says CJN. Nebuna de custom, until judiciary gets it right, there will be less litigation now. Okay, the Daily Times, Tinubu's 5 billion naira palliative to states. Edo queries federal government, raises doubt on source of money. Is it from FG's 52% FAC or money owed us? Alleges Abuja repeated kept mom on Posa. Oh gosh, Niger, my country. Okay, impeachment as dangles on Ondo deputy governor for the SUV. Okay, Mohab, go home. Oluwa urges protesting students, says lead singer will get justice. Oluwa, okay. October 1st, federal government opts for low-key celebration because nothing is happening here. Take juicy, irresistible gift from politicians. Think your career. CJN tells new judges. Okay, we'll take Punch and then we'll start talking. The Punch newspaper, let's see what's to Punch here. Tinubu's academic record. APC tackles Atiku as U.S. cards grants SVP's request. And let's look at the riders too. PDP, Atiku's aide, commend U.S. cards. It said Tinubu's academic record will be unveiled soon. And then, no cause for alarm. Atiku's case and exercise in futility. President has nothing to hide. APC is saying this. Lagos Road collapses after downpour. Residents cry. Okay. Apostle John Paul, let's start from where we started. I mean, let's get back from where we started. You see what happened in Kano yesterday, and I want to relate it to what we experienced during the presidential petition tribunal judgment when hurriedly NLC declared 2 days warning strike and asked everybody to go in before the announcement was made. And then there are a whole lot of things that played out, and we start asking, okay, some people were asking that we were even listening to judgment without seeing the faces of the judges that were talking, and just like that. And now in Kano, there's curfew. Of course, you know that judgment was delivered virtually. He got that because the judges were not present at the court. And we start asking, who is afraid of who? What is going on with our judicial system? Why is everything turning the other way around? This is not the way it used to be.
The truth of the matter is this. When you rob Peter to pay Paul, this is what you continue to have. Judiciary was meant to be the hope of a common man. But today, what do we have? Judiciary has turned itself to a place of refuge for the mighties, for the billionaires, for the politicians. And until judiciary wakes up and goes back to what judiciary was meant to be, we continue to have all this, fallout and whatever. But the point is this. Let me make this point clear. In a contest, the Constitution, the laws of the land empowered INEC to make pronouncement, regarding who win and who loses. And then the same Constitution of the land also empowered tribunals and judiciary to review whatever INEC may have done. Now, tribunal sacked a sitting governor. This is not the first time a tribunal will be sacking a sitting governor, But the good thing in this is that the governors still have the right to remain in the office until the Supreme Court, which is the final arbiter, decides the matter. Okay? So, in this case now, you look at it, we are not in court. The justices who sat down to deliver this judgment may have seen reasons, maybe the evidences before them to have given this judgment they gave yesterday. But the point is this: did they actually give judgment, did they actually give justice, or they just gave judgment? Because we have judges giving judgment, that lacks justice, and until our judiciary, until our judges, wakes up to determining cases based on evidence, based on the facts, and not based on the Ghana must go, you have given to them, or based on technicalities, because you keep hearing these technicalities here and there, and as long as that continues, we'll continue, to have problem in this country. Now, today, Enugu State Tribunal will be giving their own.
Yeah, before we get to Enugu, let's look at the role of Kwankwaso in the whole thing. You heard what he said in national newspaper, that Yusuf should accept judgment in good faith. Kwankwaso is the leader of NNPP,
yeah.
And that's his governor that has just been sacked. Before now, of course, we know the kind of romance that he is having with the presidency, which, of course, has led to NNPP. I hope I got that name. NNPC is confusing me now. Okay, NNPP, trying to, dig it out with him. Okay, that what they are doing is anti-party. Is it based on that he's making this statement now?
No, let me say this. Kano State is a state that we all know, for being, very toxic with politics. When you get to Kano State, in fact, the politicking in Kano State is something else. It's more like what you get to see in Rivers and in Lagos State. But listen, Kwankwaso gave the best advice to Yusuf, His Excellency, the governor. He said, accept it in good faith. Accept it in good faith doesn't mean you should not appeal the case. He didn't say no, because God.
If you accept it in good faith, what are you appealing for?
You have to accept. You have to calm the people down, the masses, so that they will not revolt, so that they will not protest. Okay, the tribunal has given their judgment. We still have, the judgment of the tribunal is not the last hope. Okay, we still have the opportunity of going to the higher court. Tribunal in this case is the court of first instance. Okay, we still have opportunity of going to court of appeal for the justices of court of appeal to look at this and decide if tribunal was right or wrong. Okay, and even after that, they still have the right, whichever party, to go to Supreme Court, which is the final arbiter, to determine the case. So Kwankwaso telling Yusuf to calm down, to accept the judgment in good faith, means that he should not make comments that will further bring chaos in the state. He should accept the judgment of the tribunal in good faith and then proceed on appeal if he wishes to.
Of course, they worked against us initially. They prepared for the outcome of the result by, first of all, placing what do you call it, declaring a 24-hour curfew in Kano. Okay, let's get back to Enugu. Today in Enugu, Mba and the Doga are going on no fate. So if I know what has been going on there, where Mba has not been allowed anybody to venture with his NYSC something, bringing court order one after another to stop any access to his NYSC certificate. Now, what if the judgment goes for Edoga? What do you suspect that will happen in Enugu?
The same thing in Kano. If the judgment goes against the sitting governor, you still have the right to remain in office and go to an appeal court. So that is it. Basically, you know, the good thing in this is that once tribunal makes their pronouncement, the judgment stands until set aside by the higher court. Okay, but look at this. Let's look at this. Peter Mba, Professor Peter Mba, who is getting court order, stopping people from asking or looking into his. If you have nothing to hide, why going to court to get court orders? Okay, because to the best of my knowledge, there was a time NYSC came out openly and said the certificate this man is having was not from us, you know. But you know, Barrister Peter Ndubuisi is a man loved by the people. But when it comes to governance, when it comes to issues of public, you know, sentiment and emotions is not a determining factor. Okay, the fact that people love you, the fact that you are doing your best to, you know, bring Enugu State to the limelight and everything, does not mean you should be in office, you know, wrongly. And that is left for court to decide today, that if he has NYSC certificate, court will say so. If he doesn't have it, court will say so. So let's leave it until we hear the judgment today. I believe before the night falls today that the judgment will be out. I will now look at it and believe this, whichever way it goes, I'm sure this governorship election petitions will get to the Supreme Court, which is the final arbiter to determine the matter.
Okay, as we are talking about the tribunal and what the outcome of it, let's join it with this other story from Punch. Tinubu's academic record, APC tackles Atiku as U.S. court grants SPPC's request.
You know why I won't join issues or my comment, wasting my time with APC is this. U.S. is not Nigeria. U.S. is not Nigeria. U.S. is a well-civilized nation.
I was reading that story up this morning, Apostle John Paul. If after all the efforts that this guy has put in getting the evidence that Tinubu did not graduate from Chicago State University, and then he comes back home to present it to the Supreme Court, like APC saying that your effort is in futility. That, of course, they have mentioned that before, that the court will not accept whatever you're coming home with. And that's why we start asking, how come they know the judgment before the case? What is going on?
Nigerian
so
factor.
If that becomes the case,
Nigerian factor.
What's Nigeria? Are you living in isolation?
You know, when I come here and I say that I have lost hope and confidence in the country called Nigeria, people will start attacking me. Be hopeful, be this. But the truth of the matter is that I have lost hope. Nigeria is a country where Nigeria where the mighties have it all. Okay, where the big men decide what plays out, where, you know, laws and rules are set for the common man, for people like me and you. But the mighties and, you know, the highs and mighties, they get away with everything. Okay, so I'm not surprised. And let me also say this: if you are still hoping that Supreme Court will overturn this judgment of tribunal, my dear, you better wake up. That's my own feeling about it. I don't believe. For me personally, I don't believe in judiciary. Personally, okay, that doesn't mean the judiciary is, you know, is not good. But personally, I don't think I will ever have any case that will take me to judiciary, because I don't have confidence in them. I don't believe there is anything they can do for us.
You will
in this
settle
country.
out of court.
Yes, it's better for me, because you can imagine where you go to court.
Of course, we're going back to what the scripture says. If somebody is dragging you to the court, before you get to go and make peace.
Yes, that is
because you're not going to get justice.
When you go to
or
court,
else they will throw you to the prison.
You get to court with evidence, which is overwhelming. Even a blind man can see, can feel it, that this is enough evidence. And then court will come out and say technicality, based on technicality, because we find out of time, because we did this, because the social person is supposed to testify. But the evidence evidence is before you that this man is not the right man, or this person is not, I'm not talking about the presidential matter now. In all cases, generally, and court will see that this is evidence, and then they will still give their judgment based on technicalities. It is high time we come of age in this country.
If it is technicality, then you start looking at where the litigant missed one or two things to strengthen his case. But this one is that the judges will assume that you are in court with me, giving excuses. Well, look at the kind of excuse they gave for Chetima. That what he did, that he did it unconsciously. He didn't intentionally.
You see, that's why I say that. That's why the judiciary or the court is being, controlled by the highest and mighties. That's what I say. And let me say, even before the judgment came, I had known what would play out, because look at what happened in Yobe, the former Senate president. As at the time senatorial election, primary election took place, the man, Senator Ahmed Lawan, was contesting for presidency. After he lost the ticket to this current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he went back to court and forcefully collected ticket that belonged to another man. Okay, election you never partook, election you never take, you never ever. Oh my goodness, it's appalling. And then you went to court, and court, oh my goodness, saying that it is the right of the APC to determine who flies their flag. And you can see, where is the rule of law? Where is equity? And what I am having, because you are high and mighty, because you have the money, because you have the contact, then you take what belongs to me. For me, I don't know for you, I don't know for others, but for me, as apostle, by the name Apostle I.C. John Paul, I don't believe in Nigeria judiciary, and I can never believe until I see positive things come out of judiciary. Thank you.
Until maybe we reject their role again, whether the judiciary is there to interpret the law or to jack up technicalities from NSA.
You have a judiciary that gives their judgment based on tribe, based on sentiment. Oh, this man is from my side. This man is my mother-in-law. This man is and they give judgment. Oh, he's from my side. Or he's from my region. Oh, this one is the one that appointed me a judge.
All right, John Paul.
So as long as that continues,
let's move on.
We will never have justice, but we'll continue to have judgment.
Let's move on. The Daily Independent, Edo asks federal government to explain source of 5 billion naira palliative to states. We are coming back to that story. Let's see these other ones first. Naira weakens to $990 per dollar. 90 naira per dollar on parallel market as dollar demand overwhelms supply. Okay, let's look at the rider. Okay, outrage gap widens further to 219, and then federal government, state local government shared 3.06 trillion naira, and whatever. Okay, that's coming from this day. Let's look at the Nation newspaper. Plan strike. NLC keeps federal government in suspense. NLC keeps federal government in suspense as SGF ministers meet with VP Shetima. Labour state chapters waiting for go-ahead. Tribunal voids 165,000 NNPP votes, sacks Kanu governor. I have wanted to remind you when you were saying I didn't know what to transpire. I think they based their judgments on the valid votes casted. Okay. Well, the Guardian newspaper, non-passage of bills 15 years after threatens $77 billion telecom industry. They mention money. Vanguard newspaper, pressure on petrol, diesel prices as crude hits $97.17. I'm sure you must have heard that another hike is coming for fuel again and other products. A Kano tribunal sacks Governor Yusuf declares Gawuna winner. That's coming from Delhi Trust. Okay, the last paper this morning is the Tribune newspaper. Kofi in Kanu as tribunal sacks governor. Okay, let's look at the story coming from the Nation newspaper, Plan Strike, NLC keeps federal government in suspense. You don't have faith in judiciary. Do you still also have faith in NLC? Perhaps that's where you belong. Or you don't have faith in anything again in Nigeria?
Nigeria as a country, I have lost hope. You're talking about organs of Nigeria. Are you talking about NLC that will go to meet with the federal government and then the federal government will settle the executive and they go home?
Really?
That is the point.
All
the strike they've been embarking, all the strike they've been embarking on since the time of Adams Oshomole, the one that has been fruitful. Listen, this is a country where the high and mighty gets everything they want. Okay? So NLC, well, let me be positive with them this time. They have the opportunity to write their names with gold in this country. I mean, these current executives. Insist on the federal government doing the right thing. Okay? Insist. If you're going on strike, go on strike until the federal government does the right thing. If they fail to do the right thing, let the strike continue. How can we have, okay, now, there's a plan for what do you call it, hike in petrol again. And then nobody's saying anything. People are suffering. The masses are crying. It doesn't concern the politicians. Oh my God. This is appalling to me.
Oh no.
Okay. People,
don't be emotional here. No. Maybe that's why they are gearing up for what do you call it? For strike.
The best option. But I can tell you that the NLC I've known for years now will not even embark on that strike. Okay. The executive might.
And if they do you see them getting what they want?
Yes, of course. You pressure the government. You press it down on the government until they do the right thing. No government will function well without the NLC. Members. I mean, if you don't have workers, laborers working for you, your government can't function well. So that is the only option. And the law recognizes this whole thing. Okay? Go on strike. Insist on the right thing being done. You know, the people are suffering. A bag of rice, now let me remind you, is about 50,000 in the market.
I know.
In case you've forgotten.
I bought one last week.
Okay, so it's 50,000. Now, you remove 50,000 from your salary as a civil servant, you tell me what you're having. That is the point. Okay, a liter of fuel is about 620, 650 now. So for you to buy 10 liters of fuel, you know how much it will cost you? Okay, for you to, as a barbing salon owner, for you to buy fuel to barb, you'll be needing at least 5 liters or 3 liters. And then how much will you now charge the person you are barbing? So this whole thing, I mean, the economy is in shambles. And the worst part of this whole thing that the federal government is doing nothing about all these things. Because they are satisfied. The politicians are okay where they are. They have eating allowance. For them to even eat, they have the eating allowance. To sleep, they have the sleeping allowance. To feed, everything about them, there is allowance.
And that's why
but to pay a civil servant, though I'm not a civil servant, but to pay civil servants, minimum wage, they can't. You say it now, they'll say, yeah, you are exhibiting a hate speech. You are doing this, you are doing that. You don't want to do the right thing. I say you don't want people to talk about it. The civil servants in this country are dying by the day. Okay. You see somebody who is on salary of 60,000 naira in a month. He transports himself or herself to office with half of the money.
And buy rice 50,000.
So where is our fate? Where are we heading to?
Okay, let's go. Edo Query's federal government raises doubts on source of money. Can we just look at that story, where it's coming from? The palliative money that we are sharing, where is it coming from? That's what Edo said. Every day you wake up to see. Before now, they say it's money accruable from the fuel subsidy removal. And now, why do you think Edo is asking this question?
Politicians asking politicians. So let's not talk about that.
No.
Politician.
No, maybe.
Even if the man who is asking this question today is elected the president of this country in his own political party, from his own political party, he might even do the worst. So you see Nigerian politicians, I don't trust them. In fact, I must be sincere with you. Nigerian politicians, when they come and they tell you, oh, we will do this, we have your interest at Nalayo, run.
Okay, but I think why we're having much problems in this country because we don't ask questions. I think I like the question.
The question
Explain
should
to
come
us,
from the masses, not from the politicians.
Is the money from federal government's 52% fact or
let
money owed us?
It's a good question, but the man or the person who is asking this question is not in the in the position to ask the question. If you go to Edo, is it Edo or Ondo?
Is Edo?
If you go to Edo State now, you will find out that even the money that has been given to that man, I mean, this is my own view. If you go there now, the 5 billion naira given to him to share for palliative, you may even find out that that 5 billion naira was not even shared. That maybe that money is stuck in one man's account. So why would politicians come out and question politician? The question should come from the masses, from the suffering masses, and not from the man who comes from.
And you think if the masses ask, they will answer? Maybe they will answer themselves. They will not relate to answer us. Federal government, October 1st, federal government asked for low-key celebration.
So before I comment on that, I was one of the few voices that said, these 5 billion naira being shared to 36 states and the FCT.
Meanwhile, it's 2 billion that is available. 3 is still hanging. That's what the governors are telling us. You have not heard?
I've not heard.
Okay, federal government said they dispersed 5, but the governors are saying we collected only 2. So 3 is still hanging. Where is it?
Nigerian factor.
Allow them to ask
Directors
questions. Allow them to ask questions and answer themselves.
Okay.
So the federal government asked for low-key celebration coming 1st October. Why? Why don't we celebrate our independence again? It's been low-key for some time now.
Do you have independence? I'm asking you, do you have independence? We don't have independence in this country. We are, in fact, Nigerians are in prison in this country, in your own fatherland. For you to even access passport, international passport from immigration, you will go through hell. Oh my God, you will go through hell to access in your own fatherland. And a man from China will come to Nigeria, and then Nigeria government will allocate 5 policemen to him, and they will carry on and be throwing him up and down. And your own citizens are being killed in their own country. So we don't have independence. There is nothing to celebrate. Nothing at all. Are you celebrating the failure of INEC? Okay, there was what you read out while you were reading those headlines about Imo State election, about some
34,000 voters cards, 134,000 voters not yet to be collected.
And I'm telling you, do you think the youth will collect it? I'm not saying they shouldn't. Of course they should. It's a property, if not for anything, for banking stuffs. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. For me personally, I've lost everything about this country. I've lost hope. Before 2020 election, we have a national orientation agency, we have civil society organizations, even myself, I was everywhere encouraging the youth, go and collect your PVC, go and vote. I had to travel from where I am down here to vote. Everything at the end of the day, INEC.
It's okay.
Decided, whom they wanted. And what baffled me is this: if you had known whom is going to win the election, why suffer the people? Why suffer the people? Just like in this case now, the APC is saying, what Atiku is doing is not going to hold any water. They have known the judgment before now. They have known the judgment before now. So since you have known the judgment before now, why still constitute panel? Why still constitute panel to hear the case? It's better for you to come out and tell Nigeria, look, we have decided that this is the man who will be president of this country. No need of going to court. We're not constituting panel. It's better than allow people waste their resources, waste their energy, waste their hope. And at the end of the day, you still do what you want to do.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Apostle I.C. John Paul Iloduba, thank you for coming this morning.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's why we're doing the cutting for our newspaper review this morning. My name is Ijoma. If you stand by, we'll bring you other programs we had lined up for your viewing pleasure today. Welcome.